Hello. Today we're talking about dreaming big. So my question is, why does dreaming big sometimes feel terrifying? Like it bumps up against some primal terror. Like why does the very idea of going after what we deeply want often come with fear, with shame, insecurity, voices in our head saying like, who do you think you are? You're not capable, you'll never make it. I was a big dreamer. I still am, but I was a massive dreamer, especially in my 20s. And I dreamed of stepping onto like a big Hollywood set, as a cinematographer back then. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be a cinematographer. Later, the director dream came. And I remember stepping onto my first big Hollywood set. I was about 26 years old. I was super young. I stepped onto a set in San Antonio, Texas, and I was astonished, coming from South Africa, I was astonished at how many people were there, like how many trucks, massive trucks, and all these people, hundreds and hundreds of crew members. And I suddenly realized, holy shit, they're waiting for me to tell them what to do. I was absolutely terrified. This is the thing I'd wanted my whole life. And I got there to the moment and I was dreaming about the way I was going to shoot. And for a moment, I froze up and I was terrified. I was terrified of the feeling of leadership, of having to lead all these people. Like, what if I made a mistake, It was so far out of my comfort zone because I dreamt it a certain way when I was there. I was like, oh my God, this is a lot. I was a kid from South Africa. I'd worked on movies in South Africa, which is more like guerrilla warfare filmmaking than big Hollywood sets. So there's this paradox of big dreams. We're pulled towards something meaningful, but then the old conditioning kicks in. There's all these sort of childhood messages, don't get too big, don't stand out, don't fail, don't do this. And we feel on a very visceral level, not conscious, it feels like dreaming is dangerous. Like even the idea of imagining something is dangerous, but it's not. It's just that what's happening is we're referring to a lot of the messages we got growing up. And so what happens is we hit this wall. It's this wall of fear and resistance. It shows up as, let's say, procrastination or self-sabotage or overthinking. And it feels so natural, just pops up suddenly. You dream something massive, huge, whatever, and suddenly there's all these reasons why it can't be. And we start to normalize this self-sabotage, the overthinking. But my sense is just because you're feeling fear doesn't mean that's where you should stop. It means you're entering new territory. And I found that every single time with a big dream. We have all this unconscious programming that doesn't want the dream. This is very important. That doesn't want the dream because then the programming, will lose something. That's something really important. We want the dream, but on some level, sometimes our body viscerally doesn't want the dream because on a subconscious, unconscious level, we're afraid we're going to lose something. For instance, this occurs a lot. I've had this. A lot of people I know have had this. They want to be successful, but they're afraid to be successful because then they feel like maybe they'll be alone or they won't be loved. And of course, it doesn't make sense intellectually, but to the body, it feels very, very real. We're terrified of going for it because we think we're going to lose something. We think we're going to be alone, or we think we're going to have like too much responsibility, or whatever the story is. The status quo feels much safer to us. So there's a couple of interesting ways to deal with some of the fear that comes up or the resistance. There's a few practical tools. I'm going to suggest a few of them. So one of them is name the fear. Whatever that fear is, listen to it, give it a character, give it a voice, let it speak, and hear what it's trying to protect. And that's important. It is trying to protect you in some weird way. Ask it, what are you trying to protect? And listen to this character, listen to this voice. It's usually petrified. The fear is not real, but it thinks it's real, and it thinks it has to protect you. The other thing you can do is do like a sort of embodiment check, like check into your body. Like, where in my body do I feel the fear? And can I just breathe into it and let it be? Like, instead of trying to eradicate the fear, instead of trying to like fix it, because this business of trying to fix everything, it doesn't always work. Like, often trying to fix something holds on to it. Like, can you just be with the fear? Can you just breathe into it without running away? Because the thing that happens is we hit this wall of fear and we back away, right? And then the next time we get that fear, we back away, and we back further and further away. And the fear gets scarier and scarier because we're not spending time with it. So what I'm suggesting is go right up to that wall, spend time with the fear. Instead of running, just breathe. Just breathe. It starts to diminish. The other thing you can do is take like micro steps. You know, whatever this massive dream is, like, okay, so you got the massive dream out there, just take the steps. Don't worry too much about the massive dream. Just take like ridiculously small next actions. Another idea, I've always loved this one, is connect with your future self that has this thing already. Whatever the thing is, your future self already has it. Your future self is maybe wiser, more successful, whatever it is. Now, ask your future self to write back in time to present you. The future self has already achieved this. What advice does future self have for you now with whatever you're struggling with now? It's sort of like planting yourself in the future, but it's going to sound weird. You actually exist there already, and you have an opportunity to connect with that future you and have that future you come back to help you. I'm telling you, that shit works. Another very important thing is spend time with other dreamers. You know, look around your life and who are you spending time with? Like, I joined Gold's Gym a little while ago, and I love going to Gold's. I don't talk to anybody at Gold's. I don't have conversations with people. I just go to work out. But the cool thing is everybody that's there is serious about their goals. And so I am around people that are dreaming of something. Maybe it's stronger, maybe it's fitness, maybe it's whatever it is, maybe they want to look good, whatever it is. But I'm around people that have a dream that are going for it. They go, and every single day that they're there, they take certain steps. So that's a cool community that I like being part of. And again, like, I don't hang out with people, I don't talk to people, but I feel surrounded by people that are taking action and that have big dreams. Now, why does it matter to dream big? So Norman Vincent Peale said, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. And I think that's really important. Somebody else once said, I don't remember who it was, they said something about dream bigger than you think you're capable of, because on the way, you'll get more than you think you ever could. Something like that. I don't remember who said it, but I kept on thinking about that. Like, it's true. Like, we hold back and we dream small because we want to be safe. We don't want to be hurt, whatever it is. But what about just letting go and dreaming massive? Like, insane. I mean, that was one of the things with What the Bleep. The creation of What the Bleep was this massive dream. And the producers and I got together, and I think we said something like, we want 100 million people to see this film. And I remember at that point thinking, that's pretty insane, but that's a great dream. We achieved so much, I think a lot more than we imagined we would when we just began the project, So, and that's a testament to the success of dreaming and of that project. Even if the dream seems unreachable, aiming at it will expand who you become, right? Because on the way, you receive more than you actually could have imagined. So I had a client that I was working with, this was a number of years ago, a teacher, and very, very cool human being. And he was distracting himself in every single way possible. Substances, this, that, the other, just completely distracting himself. And I remember in one particular session, we sat down and we started to ask the question of like, well, what if he didn't distract himself? Okay, what if he didn't do any of those things? And he arrived at sort of like just being still. And being still was somehow terrifying, absolutely terrifying. And so we worked with that. And shortly after that, he began spending more time being still, less time distracting himself. And now he has the most remarkable life. He has the most incredible relationship. He left and went to some faraway country. He's teaching amazing people. He's super happy. And all of it from just shifting his focus from staying with the distractions, staying with the sabotage, and just being absolutely still. And the stillness is what he was afraid of. And once he immersed himself in it, everything changed. Another example, quite frankly, is what I'm doing here. If you watched the past few episodes, this dream has been brewing for quite some time, but I've been holding it back, starting to talk to people. I've always wanted to change the world through films, right? I've always wanted to do that. I'm still going to do that. But there was something about connecting in an even more deeper way, in a more personal way to people to help them with their dreams and to talk about certain things that I had been more afraid to talk about in public. And as you saw from the previous episode, I decided to do something about it. I'm going to go talk to somebody to help me with this wall, with this boundary, and start to dig in and see what are the things inside there that I'm struggling with so that I can do the thing I want to do. Because as well as making movies and all those fun things, what I also want to do is what I'm doing now. So this video is a testament to that. I had held the dream back, but it had been there all the time. And finally I decided it's time to figure out what the obstacle is. And now I'm enacting the dream. Now I'm going for it. So this is the work that I love doing with people. I love helping them notice the walls, whatever the resistance is, and finding the ways through it. And I highly recommend, that if you're really going for something, whatever it is, that you work with a coach or a mentor. It does not have to be me, anybody you resonate with. But if you are interested, you can go check out my mentoring site, which is markvicente.com/mentoring. You can check out what I do. I love doing it. If that's what you want, cool. But somebody, please go and work with somebody to help you get perspective, to help you find those boundaries and push past those boundaries. And by the way, it's a lot easier than we think. I mentioned some time back on Instagram, I think, it's not so much that we have to sort of redo who we are and change everything about our life. It's more that we have to take our foot off the brakes. Like we want this thing, so our foot's sort of on the accelerator, pushing a little bit. And then the other foot is on the brake, holding us back. This is more about figuring out like, oh, I have my foot weighing down on the brake and all I have to do is lift it and then amazing things happen, right? So it might be a lot easier than you think. So here's my closing thought, or question, I should say. What's the dream that you've been avoiding because it feels too big or too scary? And what's the one step you can take this week, even if you're afraid? We'll talk soon.